is going on, everybody? You're very welcome back to LeedsBros for Talking Points as Leeds United did go down 2-1 to Tottenham Hotspur yesterday. So we're here to break down all the talking points of yesterday's game. Joined by the brother as always, and we have Jam back as well, fresh after becoming a new daddy. As you can see, a few bags under the eyes, bit of a sleepy head, but he's here to talk everything about Leeds United. But before we do, myself and Dylan Jam, and I'm sure all the LeedsBros community want to say a massive congratulations for bringing little Mason into the world. And how are you finding it all?
Thank you, Les. Yeah, no, it's mad, to be honest. Last week I was in the hospital ward. I was trying to find signal to watch the Bournemouth game, and I had Mason and Mount's there, but I just couldn't do it. So yesterday was a bit of a special moment for me, boys, because it was like the first actual technical game that we watched together, even though he hasn't got a clue what's going on. But that's part and parcel of it. But yeah, really, really sort of special moment, really, because everything that's gone on in the past, and you sort of sit there and think, this is exactly what I've always wanted, just to have my little boy by here, just watching the game with me. So looking forward to watching many more with him. But yeah, lads, unbelievable. It's just on cloud nine, really, on cloud nine. So but yesterday's game, obviously, the result wasn't what he wanted. But yeah, I've got a few talking points. See what I did there?
Yeah. And absolutely, Dylan.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into the whole thing. Dylan, how are you? Obviously, we did our player ratings video after the game yesterday. You chose violence. You went in hard on some of the players. Any calmer than you were yesterday, no?
I'm a lot calmer, yeah. I don't change what I said, but I am definitely a lot calmer. I have a few nice things to say. Went back and watched the game with more of an open mind. I think it was the hype of all you guys that's watching as well, and what's seeing on X and before the game, so I really think we were going to do one here. It was just the hype, the hype up for the game, and I got it wrong. And then just certain players will just do me head in. But look, that's what it's all about. It's all about opinions. But I'm not out for violence today.
You hit it well on the player ratings videos. Don't worry, we couldn't guess that he was angry. Don't worry, though.
He just went in, and that was it. I'm not too sure. I might wait now after the games. I might wait about 20 minutes, let Dylan go get a cup of tea, calm down a little bit, and then come back and do a player ratings. I don't think it was the wisest thing to hit record straight away as soon as the final whistle went, because he just was on it. He was on it yesterday.
Look, it's just me, lads, in a nutshell. Even when I went downstairs after, my missus was like, what was that about? I said, look, it is what it is, and that's how I feel. She's like, go on outside and get some air. I said, air's going to do absolutely nothing for me. Nothing.
Right, let's bring it right back to the very start then of the game. Bit of an echo. Jam, we'll pass it off to you. Obviously, the starting 11 yesterday, what did you make of it? Is it the starting 11 you should have went with? And how did you find it?
Can you hear me, lads? Because my signal's just gone.
Yeah, I can hear you, buddy. Can you hear us?
Not sure if it's better now.
Yeah, it sounds better there, buddy.
Yeah, I can't hear you, but I don't know what's going on with my volume. But I can't hear you. But I grasp what you sort of said then. But yeah, I mean, the game yesterday, as far as I'm concerned, it was kind of what we expected, really. I suppose. I mean, didn't really expect to get much from the game. I suppose before the game, you've got a bit of hope that we can get a draw out of it. To be honest with you, I wasn't really impressed with Spurs. I know that may sound bitter, and it's not. I don't mean it to land like that at all. But I thought the first 20 minutes we were all over them. I thought there was only one team looking like we were going to score. Then what happens? All of a sudden, then they break away and they get a deflected goal in. Total break of play, and you're scratching your head thinking, how are we losing this game 1-0? But the lads really did sort of bounce back well. Got a goal, equalising goal. Then you're sort of going into half-time then with confidence and looking at it and thinking, right, we can actually go out there now and really put it on them, because the crowd turned as well. When we went 1-1, the crowd really did sort of bring us sort of up a level. Second half then, I'll be honest, it didn't seem to be much that went on, apart from Calvert-Lewin had a few chances, which I think lads, he should be finishing, at least one of them. I don't know why he isn't doing it. I don't know why he didn't. But yeah, lads, he's just like a punch down the kudos. You let him in on that left foot, and he's just gonna kill you. And that's exactly what he did. And yeah, I mean, if you look at the reaction of what they were like after the game, Tottenham, they were celebrating like quite, like as if they'd won the cup final, and it just goes to it just gives us credit really that they've gone there, and Thomas Frank thought probably would have taken a point as well before the game, so I think he's really progressing them as a club, unfortunately, to our sort of demise, but I can't be disappointed really, boys. There's a few things I am going to say about a few certain players, but if at the end of the day, it's a 2-1 loss, and I thought we were very unlucky to lose that game. Really, that's my sort of summary of it.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Jam, as well. I think, again, it was a really good performance from the lads yesterday. And we've said that a few times this season. And that word keeps coming up. We were unlucky against Fulham, unlucky against Bournemouth. Probably say we were unlucky against Newcastle at home as well, not to take all three. And I felt like we were unlucky yesterday. And look what you said as well. I don't think Spurs blew me away. And again, it does sound strange saying that because obviously they win the game 2-1 and beat us. But I actually thought Leeds did look the better side for most of it. You could just see their quality going forward. They had exactly what we don't, and they've attacking players. The likes of Kudos, Tell as well. You could see his goal as well, and 2 deflected goals done. So again, it's a really good performance, and I don't want this to kind of continue on through the season. I don't want again after Burnley go, oh, we were unlucky not to win that game. I don't want to go into West Ham and go, oh, we should have won that. We were unlucky not to win that. It does have to stop somewhere that, being unlucky, although the performances are very good and giving us encouragement, you don't get anything for good performances. You need to be putting points on the board as well. So, I'm kind of both sides of it though today. But, Dylan, we'll obviously pass it over to you then, and we'll go kind of through the game. We'll go through the goals and stuff like that. But obviously after yesterday, time to kind of dissect it. How are we feeling about it all?
Yeah, I'm still good. Genuinely good. Because for me, I thought we were better sorted for large parts of the game. I agree with what you're saying there, lads. Spurs didn't really offer anything as such. When you think of Spurs and you think of that team that was coming down to us to play on the road, that's not what I expected. Not that I've been watching them at all or anything. I just mean, when you think of a big top six club, you think offer a bit more. I thought we played with a lot of intensity, the energy, the belief, and somehow we just came away with nothing. And that, I think that's the most frustrating thing for me. I think that's the reason why I got heated yesterday and gave the boys a low score. But yeah, I agree, Darren. We did play well. I thought the boys, they didn't do anything. It's simply down to the finishing for me, lads.
Yeah. And we did say, Dylan, now in fairness, after the getting a bit of an echo. Things coming from Jam. I'll mute you for 2 seconds, Jam. Dylan, we obviously did say it after the transfer window closed that this was going to be probably a talking point right up until January, is that's where it's going to let us down, is going forward. And we don't really seem to go and have that clinical edge. And we'll get in a little bit more about Calvert-Lewin, because obviously Jam mentioned it as well. And although his hold of play was very good yesterday, I felt like his finishing has been a little bit off. You kind of let him away with a Bournemouth because he's still getting into his rhythm. Yesterday, he should have taken at least one of the chances that he had. But yeah, look at overall, Dylan, as I said, look at another good performance against the side now that's after going into second in the division. So there is positives and encouragement to take from that. Absolutely, there 100% is. But I'm a little bit like you. It feels a little bit like Bournemouth to me, that it could have been at least a point. Now, I don't agree with what Daniel Farke was saying, that we should have had all three. I think that was wild to say that. I don't think Leeds probably done enough to win the game. And to be honest with you, I don't think Spurs deserve to win the game either. So I think if you meet that in the middle, I think a point apiece probably would have been a fair result. But I just think, again, Dylan, it was their individual quality going forward. Players that are worth millions of pounds, playing for the top 6 club in the Premier League, their quality shown through in the day, and we just don't quite have that.
Look, you go back to the Newcastle game, for sure. I think a point was well deserved. If we had nicked the goal there and got the 3 points and get out of there, you would have been like chuffs with that. But the Fulham game is one that really irritates me, and then the Bournemouth one as well. I think they're the ones that are really frustrating, simply because we should have won them games. But when you look at Spurs, for example, yesterday, I agree, we weren't clinical with our finishing. Obviously, they were because they won 2-1, but I mean, they didn't. We were the better side, and taking the Leeds off, genuinely, and I hope there's a Spurs fan in here, we were the better side. We were.
He's still choosing violence today.
We were.
I'm getting a little bit of passive aggressive from you, Dylan. You're like, no, I'm calm. Look, I'm all right now. But
I hate Spurs. I Right, and that's it. I hate it. And then it was, do you know what it was as well? Even we were so unlucky. We were so unlucky with Rodon's header.
That's
was
what I was
just, you
just
know,
about, I was about to get into
that
kind of
boy,
the
you know,
running of the game. So
yeah.
when you kind of go back to 6 minutes in, Jam, your boy, the Welsh lad, Rodon, and I was kind of saying it before the game and in the starting 11 show and in our match preview, how good would it be to see Rodon score 2-2? And obviously against his old side as well, but he was so unlucky with it off the post. And I put up a tweet last night on Twitter as well. I was lying in bed last night and it could have been a totally different game, couldn't it, lad? 6 minutes in, Rodon scores against his old side. He was so unlucky, wasn't he?
That's the thing, yeah. You know, if he scores that goal there, it's a completely different story, isn't it? You know, and lucky. When I look at it again, when I first looked at it, I thought, oh yeah, that's a really good effort. But I'll be honest, I think he should be scoring. If I'm being completely honest, there he should be probably doing a lot better. So even I don't think the defender didn't really put that much pressure on him when he was that ball was being delivered in as well. So yeah, can you hear me, lads? All right, my volume is not.
Yeah, no, can hear you fine. Well. Yeah, audio's fine, buddy. Yeah.
No worries. Yeah, that's fine. But what I wanted to I'm going to sort of branch onto it, and this is probably going to be a bit of an unpopular opinion, but I didn't think Anton Stack was up to much, boys.
Yeah, well, it was just a comment here that I was actually just about to pull on it. Do you think Tanaka will replace Stack in the next match against Burnley? And I think we agree. I think it's probably the elephant in the room for me. I think Stack was poor yesterday, lads, to be honest with you, and I don't think he was very good against Bournemouth either. And it probably just is that, in fairness, from that adjusting to the Premier League, because the first couple of games he was outstanding. And we know the quality he has. You know, you can just see by the free kick against Wolves, he does possess quality. But maybe the physicality and, you know, the quality of the Premier League has probably just caught up with him a little bit. I know he wouldn't be against it, taking him out against Burnley, to be honest with you. And I think Dylan says it so many times here about Farke using that squad. And now that Tanaka is back, I think why not rotate it? Bring Tanaka in for Burnley away. And then when we're playing West Ham at home, you know, just rotate it, and then Stack comes back in then as well. But I agree with you, Jam. I don't think he was phenomenal yesterday.
I've seen it on X and on people. I'm going to get a little bit of slack here, and that rhymes. I just thought of that there. But
Stack of slack.
Yeah, stack of slack. Is the way he's been playing throughout the season so far? You know, he's such at a high level, and we've seen that work rate from him. So when he does drop, then people are like, oh, get Tanaka on. No, he's no good. He's this, that, and the other. To me, personally, he's definitely been our star signing. Let's be honest. So, look, when I flip it.
I'd be going Longstaff now. Just because the last two performances, like I'm looking at Longstaff. Stack, I think, has the quality 100%. He was our marquee signing, but I think overall, right now, I think Longstaff just goes ahead of him a bit. That's not to say, boy, the time January comes at the end of the season, you look back and say Stack was our summer signing. But
it's gonna be a scrap at the end of this video between me.
I just think it's there. The proof is in the pudding at the minute. Sean Longstaff, since he's gone into this Leeds team, I think has been phenomenal.
I'll be not to sit on the fence here, but I can sort of see both sides. But I think who's impressed me the most has probably actually been Longstaff. I think he does all the dirty work, and he works hard. Stack as well has got his qualities, which obviously he hasn't shown yesterday. But like I think you said there, it does. You know, the Premier League is a high intense league, so I think it's just going to take some time. You know, if we take him out and put Tanaka in at Burnley, I've got no issues with that, really. You know, it's all about using that squad. So
it wouldn't bother me seeing Tanaka come on for the next game. Not one bit. You know, me and Darren have said it. That midfield literally is, pun intended, stacked. So, you know, start utilising them a bit more.
That's so agreed, and I think he'll use it a little bit now, yeah. And Tanaka, in fairness to him, not a lot of time on the pitch. I actually thought he looked decent when he came on in his correct position, not like against Bournemouth when Farke, for some reason, decided to bring him on right wing. He looked good when he came on as well, and he was looking for the ball. He was trying to dictate the play. He was getting forward. So, I think I probably would start Tanaka against Burnley away, and probably give Stack a little bit of a rest. But then again, look, he's going to have 2 weeks off now, nearly, with the international break. And really, if you're in Farke's head, he's probably not going to change it. We're probably going to see the exact same starting 11 against Burnley away, to be honest.
That's the thing, yeah, because you think about, I suppose, when you think about it, because Tanaka's going away with Japan as well, isn't he? Yeah, international break. So I probably are right. He probably will stick with Stack in there, which I'm not against. It's just obviously, you know, you've got to call it as it is. You've seen the game, and he just wasn't at his best. But you know, I'm sure you'll be back at it against Burnley if he does he does play. So, yeah.
I just thought we were very unlucky. I think of it, going back to the Rodon goal. Oh, sorry, header. If that header went in, it really would have changed everything. We started on the front foot like early on. We could see that the crowd were behind it. Then first 20 minutes, not that we were all over Spurs, we were applying the pressure. The ball was moving very quick. The crowd was behind it. But that's kind of the story that's been written for Leeds an awful lot. We're always on the front foot within the first 20 minutes and not saying you have to get the goal, but back it up. If you're going to keep applying that pressure, and that just kind of goes dead a little bit at times. And we had one deflection, boom, and then we're 1-0 down. Just
like it feels like Dylan, and it was the same against Bournemouth as well, that we seem to be falling behind in games now as well. And it's obviously same with Wolves, same against Bournemouth, and then again yesterday as well. And we couldn't have to fight our way back into games after initially missing really good chances. When you look back to the Burnley game, the Calvert-Lewin one in the first 3 minutes, probably should have scored. Joe Rodon yesterday probably should have scored. And that's where, Dylan, I think, again, in the Championship, you get away with these and you still manage to pick up points. But in the Premier League, they're vital moments in the game where, if you're taking the lead, it completely torn it, because then you're inviting Spurs out and you have a chance then to try and hit them on the break then with our players. So, yeah, I totally agree with you yesterday. We'll move on. We'll talk about the Spurs goal as well, lads, because obviously, look at Pascal Struijk is getting a little bit online. People saying take him out of the game. For the first goal, for me, I think we were a little bit soft in midfield, which obviously is not what we're used to seeing from this midfield so far this season. I think we lose out in midfield in a dangerous position, and I think actually Longstaff was a little bit poor in midfield. Gabby Goodmunson is caught way up the pitch, so Struijk naturally does have to come across to try and push Tell out, but I don't think he comes across fast enough. I think he gave me a little bit of Van Dijk vibes. He tried to jockey him for a little bit too long, and then ultimately then it's too late as Tell's on his backswing. That's when Struijk decides to step in, and obviously the deflection and wrong foot's Darlow. There's no way Darlow's getting to that. But I think for me, Struijk is obviously the last line of defence, but I think initially it comes further up where we get caught in midfield there. We shouldn't really be getting caught there, because that's a dangerous transition with their type of players. But for me, Struijk should have came across a little bit quicker to try and block it.
Darren, you go back to last season, just while you're on that, because it's clicking in my head. Going back to the Solomon slip, it was similar there. Struijk took him along. He should have came across that a little bit quicker, and then he hesitated. Same thing, he was doing the jockeying. So, no, I'm a Struijk lover, as you can see there, number 5 there. But my point is, you have to learn from your mistakes. If you done it last season, we can't afford these sort of mistakes. And I know, look, in the initial thing when I was texting you during the first goal, Darren. Not that I was blaming Gabby, but I was saying, where is the cover on the left hand side?
Yeah.
Okafor's miles up the pitch. Gabby's in there half, and you're kind of going, what's going on here? Where's the cover? We were driving so far up the pitch that we weren't thinking what was on the back. And that's the frustrating thing.
I was just going to say, lads, I think, it's good where you touched on there, Dillo. I think Okafor needs to be, he needs to be working hard to get back as well. I know Gabby Goodmanson, who's up the pitch, but he needs to be, filling in a left back at those times. But yeah, I'll be honest, Pask, wasn't his best game yesterday, but I think it's probably the criticism he is getting is a little bit harsh for me personally. So I think
because he has been good. Yeah, he's definitely been good so far. 100%. So it was a bit of a kick in the nuts, though, lads, wasn't it? Going 1-0 down, because I actually thought up until that point, I thought we performed well. We had a couple of chances. The Dominic Calvert-Lewin one as well. That he balloons into the south stand as well. Obviously the Rodon one as well. So it felt like, again, a little bit like the Bournemouth game, that we were the better team, probably should have scored. We didn't take our chances, and we get punished on the other end. And we know that's football, and that's going to be the Premier League. It's always going to come back to kick it. But again, Leeds do what we always do. We come from a goal down, similar to what we seen at Wolves, that Bogle ball into the box, which what we didn't really see last season in the Championship. Bogle, I think, has been invited a little bit more to put the ball in the box. Calvert-Lewin takes it down beautifully to that boy, Brendan Aronson. Okafor obviously tucks it away. But we'll obviously talk about Okafor, lads, and Dylan will pass it over to you. Yesterday I thought he was really good. You could see his individual quality in the game, but there was times I felt, Dylan, he was tricking himself, wasn't he? He was trying to do step over, shimmy in one way, but he was actually putting himself off instead of just kind of do the simple thing. We know if you have the quality, don't try and overshow, don't try and over the effort. So yeah, he obviously gets his goal yesterday. I think he's Leeds top goal scorer now with 2, but yeah, it was a good goal, Dylan. Again, a goal that we're not really used to seeing. Leeds scoring, ball into the box, knocked down.
I'm going to say, is it harsh that I want more from him?
No.
I feel like from that, like even what Jam said there, and I wasn't putting Gabby out there. I agree with what you're saying, Jam, 100%. I think Okafor is closer to to the defence. You know, I think he should be doing the running. You know, and you want that from your wingers to help out when needs be. And it just seemed like he didn't. But yeah, Darren, I have to agree. I feel like I want a bit more from him, a bit more. Not so much Stardust quality, but there's at times he gets the ball, he's sprinting up the pitch, and yeah, he's forgetting it at times, or he's falling over it. But that's the negative side of it. But you have to kind of give the lads credit, lads, because it's straight away, using air quotes here, top 6 club, and you know, they score, and then straight away, the Leeds didn't drop their heads. We hit back straight away, obviously, with Okafor, and it was a nice goal, let's be honest with you. And yeah, and now everyone's going to slay me for this, and I know Darren's going to smile when I say this. It was great work from Brendan Aronson. You know, it was a proper poacher's goal from Okafor, right place, right time. And then from there, from me anyway, when that goal went in, Leeds seemed to be back on top again. So this is what I'm saying. It's very annoying to see.
We were unlucky because we nearly had a balloon issue as well. Anyone see the blow up ball that was blown across the goal? Another second, lads. And I said to myself, that would have been the most Leeds United thing in the world.
Yeah.
If that ball was in there and Okafor has all the goal to hit and he decides to hit the beach ball, but thankfully we escaped that one. And I seen Sky had it up as well, because obviously remember the Darren Bent one a couple of years ago for Sunderland against Liverpool. But thankfully the ball ends up in the back of the net. We get back into it.
I would have been so annoyed, man, if that didn't.
I thought VAR would have got. I thought VAR was going to get involved and be like, oh, no.
Initially, Jam, when I thought, I was like, there's 2 balls on the pitch. There's 2 balls on the pitch. Like, I'm going to disallow it, and we obviously know that nowadays. And then thankfully, when I seen it was a beach ball, I was like, right, we're okay. But I was like, they might find a way that there's an object on the pitch or something to try and deny the goal, but thankfully it didn't. Just have a comment here from the Red Review. Not too sure if it's Liverpool or Man United, maybe, or could be Forest. I'm not too sure. But it says, Leeds have done okay. There were many people's favourites to go straight back down, but they are holding their own and being competitive. Where would you be happy to finish realistically? I think 17th, to be honest. I do think just stay in the division, and like that means obviously then we're going to have a season of absolutely chomping our nails right the way through to the finish. But I think if you said now Leeds will finish 17th, you're probably right happy that and build on that again next summer. But I think probably the answer right now is finish up as high as you possibly can and not get relegated. I think that's the now. But if you could end the season right now, I'd say finish 17th and stay in the league. What about you, Jam?
Yeah, I think if you aim for higher than 17th, I think you'd be great. But I think if that is your aim, 17th to finish just above the relegation, I think you're setting yourself up for a fail, really. So if you can aim for the stars, and then wherever comes, then comes. But yeah, literally, lads, I honestly couldn't care if we stayed up by goal difference or anything this season. Whatever it takes, we just stay in this league, just establish ourselves as an actual Premier League team. And hopefully then we can be in Tottenham's position in a few years' time, or go into Europe and get our passports ready, you know. So,
I'd say from 17th to 10th anyway. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You want to be aiming. Yeah. No, but I mean, that's what you want to be aiming for. Like as Jam said there, and I agree, you know, you don't want to be going, oh, lads, if we just finish 17th, you're setting yourself up for failure. You know, all the money, like everything, it just doesn't make sense. You want to be saying to them, lads, let's try and get to top 10. And then realistically, you're saying from 10th to 17th is your marker. You know, you want to go in with the mindset, we're not getting relegated. We're going to do this. We're not going to get relegated anyway.
Yeah. Lovely comment here from Seamus Durkin. He says, Evening bros, enjoying the content. Keep going and you will get your rewards. MOT. Don't forget the man who made time made plenty of it. Cheers for your comment, Seamus. Really do appreciate that, and especially in a crowded market. Like the Leeds United YouTube sphere, yeah, that's a class comment to have, and we just enjoy doing what we're doing and enjoying people like Jam and enjoying talking to people like you. So yeah, appreciate that, buddy. Michael says, I think Gabby has been poor, not just yesterday. I'll probably disagree, Michael, to be honest with you, buddy. Respectively, I think Gabby has been decent. Obviously, look at the Fulham one was just a freak one, but I actually thought he played good in that game against Fulham, and I think he's been good so far this season. But I 100% agree with you yesterday. I thought he was poor yesterday. He was ran ragged yesterday, lads, wasn't he? By kudos. He just and the slip as well for the goal as well. I think probably put the nail in the coffin. Right? Poor Gabby had he was ran ragged.
He kind of hit his shoulder. Like I don't know about you, Dan. You are a left back by trade and a good one at that. Some left pegger on you. But I mean, in that sort of scenario, when a very fast, pacey player is running alongside you, I don't know about you, but I would do everything in my way, even to just stop the ball dead, if that makes sense. Throw anything at it, a knee, your back, your arse, anything that's going, just kind of stop the ball dead, because it's the way you kind of took it down. It's like you tried to control it. then he's in.
I think
You know,
I think he'll do that to loads of. I think he'll do that to plenty of fullbacks this season. Kudos, lads. He's a very good player. It took about 3 or 4 of us every time he got the ball to crowd him out, and he just wasn't. So I will give him the benefit of the doubt yesterday. But if he does obviously tune in a couple of other performances now, then you can start questioning him. But again, the level of quality that we come up against yesterday, attacking wise, I mean, you can sort of give him just a little bit of leeway, I suppose, just because I personally think he's been good all season, Gabby, personally, in my opinion. But I can understand why people would say perhaps that he hasn't been as good. But yeah,
he didn't drop the head though at all, Jam. That's what I was saying.
No, he kept going.
That's the only thing that I can actually, as I said, the negative side of it. He kept going. Every time he lost the ball, he recovered it. Or every time someone lost the ball, he recovered it, and he done very well at that. And that's what you want. That's what you want. Like he's a big step ahead from Junior Firpo. Like you have to give him that. Yeah, like the freak accident at Fulham, and then you could say yesterday, but like I can't really be too upset with him because, as I said, he's doing the right things. He's getting forward. He's on the back. He's he's recovering.
Well, we'll look at him against Bournemouth, Dylan, what he done against Bournemouth as well, going to the end line with 2 men, and wins the ball back off 2 Bournemouth men, knocks back to Okafor, and we get the long staff goal from it as well. Yeah. But again, I try and cut the new players into this team a little bit, try and cut them a little bit of slack, because it still is early days. The likes of your Okafor, your Stack, your Good Munson, you try and cut them a little bit of slack because they are coming into a new team, Premier League, and from different divisions, taking that step up. But I think overall he's been good, but I definitely do want to see him keep improving 100%. Yeah. Let's move on, and we'll talk about the dickhead ref, lads, because yesterday, honest to God, lads, I
love that.
And I don't look at you. Want to? I want to reiterate. I don't think Leeds United lost this game because of the referee yesterday. But my God, the only consistent thing about him yesterday was he was so inconsistent, because he was giving them some fouls and then not giving them to us, and then giving them to them, and then giving them against us. And I think for both sides, I think he was poor yesterday. Like the standard of refereeing is just absolutely on the floor. It was on the floor in the Championship last year, and I thought yesterday he was a really poor performance. I think it was Bramble or something like that. His second name is probably typical, probably a Neil Warnock. Yeah, Neil Warnock, man. But I thought he was so bad yesterday, the referee. I thought he got so much of it wrong, so inconsistent, Jam, wasn't he?
Oh, he was honestly, you know me and refs, lads. I've said it quite a few times last season in the Championship. Can someone just get him some cards for Christmas or something? Because just honestly, you're putting again, like what you said, Daz. We're not blaming it on obviously the ref for us losing the game. We lost the game just because Tottenham have got a better quality than us and whatever. But it's just the consistency we're looking for. If you're going to consistently book Leeds United for something, consistently book Tottenham Hotspur for exactly the same. The one bit that annoyed me, especially in the first half, I think Stack put pressure on Van der Ven, and he actually won the ball, and we were going to break away, and we were in them, but no, the ref blew up straight away, and I thought, that's no way that is a foul. Some of these refs, they just want to be the sort of like, they want to steal our limelight, don't they, and make the Premier League game all about them, and then on match of the day they can have a nice little segment, but terrible, lads.
I want to smash the head in, John, to be honest.
Honestly, it's just, even I'm laid back watching the game, but even how annoyed me, like just watching it, it's just.
And even then, some of them players are there, like Ampadu was mentioning this, and it brings me back to the Porro one as well, where he's laying down on the ground like he's been absolutely shot and his leg is hanging off, and it's just like you were caught on your shin guard, like get up off the ground. And then there was a potential review on upgrading Ampadu's yellow card to a red card, and I was like, here we go, this is it again. But yeah, I just thought the ref overall yesterday, I just thought he was basically shit, lads, to tell you the truth. Like just so like he was so poor yesterday. Like it's unbelievable. I think we can probably expect that now from referees. Look what you said, Jam. It's like some of them kind of come into the game thinking I'm gonna make it all about me instead of just fucking reffing the game and ref what you see and be fair. But again, I don't think that's the reason why Leeds United lost. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Right, and then obviously, the worst happens then in the second half, like the weather as well. Yesterday, lads, I do think it played a massive factor, because it obviously started off really bad, and we all know about the storm. Then it seemed to lighten up a little bit, and then it got really bad again. And poor Gabby Goodmunson obviously slips for the ball to Kudos. But again, lads, I think even when Gabby slips, it was still, no one was kind of coming across to try and make up for the mistake. Again, it looked like Stroke was a little bit laboured, and he tries to get the block in. Unfortunately, he hits him on wrong foot Darlow there again. But yeah, again, it just felt like a poor goal to give away, didn't it?
Yeah, it was poor. Go on, Dale. You want to go first, or?
I think if I hadn't took a nick, I think Darlow would have saved it, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, it was just very annoying, very annoying. It's just that's football at this level. To be involved, you know, fine margins. It's very frustrating, just because it's Strauch's again. It's on that side, you know. But that's the quality that they show in individual players for Spurs. But we didn't deserve to lose that. I'm just leaving it at that, and
Yeah,
especially
me
because of
too.
the unbeaten home record.
I think the bit that annoyed me, lads, about it was when, you know, he's cutting in on his left foot, and where's the midfield to? You know, there's someone just get in on him and at least like just come out, strike, should we just release and just come out and block that ball? But again, it's just frustrating defending. You know, it's a little deflection that just goes in the back of the net. I just think it can be prevented just by showing a bit of desire and, you know, to block the ball. And I think someone commented earlier, like, you know, that's where a BL will come in and he'll put his body on the line. You know, I love Pask, but that's exactly what BL will do. He'll first and foremost just defend, and you'll come out and make it difficult for players. But yeah, frustrating goal. I mean, both of them were, weren't they? Let's be honest.
Just towards the end, lads, and I'm jumping a bit ahead here, Darren, but, you know, when they scored that goal, did you find at times, like after that, say from the goal to about 15, 16 minutes later, did you feel like Leeds were like very dead and hostile?
Yeah.
And, yeah. Now, with that being
Well,
said,
I have that wrote as well, because I have obviously the subs as well, and we said it yesterday, Dylan, on the player ratings when he put Meche and Pirro on. I felt like he was just throwing shit on the wall and see what would stick. Where the subs that he made, before that felt a little bit more measured. Like, I think to substitute Aronson at the time, I think was the right sub at the time, even though Harrison didn't offer much in the game. I think it was the right decision to sub Stack, because I don't think he was affecting the game, and bring Tanaka on. He had a little bit more of effect. But when he brought Meche and Pirro on, we were still trying to play the ball on the ground and work the ball up to them, where you're bringing on big lads like that to try and knock it down to Calvert-Lewin. It took us a long time to just start trying to put the ball forward as quick as we can and use that. We didn't really, and we only did kind of the last 8 to 10 minutes of the game. We started trying to put the ball forward then a little bit more, which kind of frustrated me a little bit, because if you're going to make that change and throw everything at it and try and get the equaliser, that's fine, no problem. But maybe play to our strengths a little bit more instead of, again, trying to go down the wing. Because we felt a little bit disjointed after we made them substitutions.
Yeah,
we felt like Pascal Struik going to left back, and then it looked like Harrison then moved them from the right back out to the left then, and then he was looked like then he was dropping in century a little bit, Pirro in the 10. It felt very disjointed to me. I don't know what was going on that last 10 minutes.
It was all over the place, completely all over the place. And this is the thing I can, fault Farke is these substitutions. One, so late in the game, and two, the subs that he brought on. It's very like childish. Like, I know it's like something in FIFA, just chuck everyone on and see what happens. And that's what I felt like. And I'm being honest with you here. But even the intensity when they came on, as Darren said, there was very all over the place at times. Very all over the place. And that's the very frustrating thing. And I keep going back to what I was kind of saying last season, and he's still showing glimpses of it. And I thought you kind of grow over now because we're in the Premier League. Is that our plan B when we're down 2-1?
Yeah,
chuck a load of players on.
Yeah, agree with you, Dylan. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But
that's
look, Dylan, in fairness, I'm going to have a little bit of a pushback on that, Dylan, is that look at our bench there yesterday, lads. Like, to be honest with you, Farke's really fuck all to work with, lads. When you looked at that bench yesterday, lads, there was no quality, lads. Like, Jam, I don't know about you. Look, I looked at that bench yesterday before the game, and I was just like, with no one for me can really come on and change the game, apart from Pirro maybe getting a goal. So I disagree with you there a little bit, Dylan, because I think Farke can only work with what he's working with. I think initially he gets the starting 11 bang on. I think you have to pick that after the result that was the point that we picked up against Bournemouth after playing really well. So I think the starting 11 you got right, and then you look to our bench, Dylan. There's not much to bring on to change the game. And in the Premier League, Jam, you need that when it's going against you. You want to bring on someone that's going to try and change the game.
That's it, yeah, 100%. You need the players you need those game changers to come on, don't you? And like Tottenham have, they brought a good
bring on Richarlison and all. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And I know like a lot of Spurs fans don't like Richarlison, but I tell you what, I'd take him on the Leeds bench, and if he was an option to bring on, and that kind of thing, I think. Yeah, when you got nothing against Bournemouth, but you got Bournemouth on the bench, you got Beale, they're both defenders. Then you're bringing on Jack Harrison. Pirro, I know he did it in the Championship, but Meche, I'll be honest, he really didn't do. Did he do anything yesterday? No. Meche, nothing. The only thing he did was push the defender into the goalkeeper I think that was it. The last one bit that he did, and again, comes down to recruitment, doesn't it? Comes down to sort of basically, where we should have probably, spent better
That's what
funds
we
elsewhere.
discussed, though, lads, isn't it? When the transfer window closed, we said it that there's going to be times now from now up until January, and whether we do it in January is going to be another conversation. That there's going to be games like this where we're going to be talking about that we have no attacking threat. And Okafor for me is the only one that you can see has a bit going forward, and that kind of leads me on to the Calvert-Lewin lads, because again, he had a good day yesterday. His hold-up play is fantastic. He brings others into play. We know that with Calvert-Lewin, but he had a couple of chances against Bournemouth that he fluffed his lines. Should have really got at least one against Bournemouth, if not three. And then yesterday he should have had another one as well. So he's definitely not firing on all cylinders for me. There was one that was played up from me, had a little snapshot in the turn in the second half, and in fairness to Vicario, makes a cracking save down to his left-hand side. But there was one in the first half, and we spoke about it briefly when it was nipped back by Okafor. I thought it was good Munson at the time. He gets it, then takes a touch, and he should have just had the shot. And you're getting closed down by Premier League defenders. Like, they're not going to give you that time in the ball. And he decides to take another touch and then ends up blowing it into the south stand. So, yeah, that needs to be better than that, lads. He needs to get his finishing on point, because if we don't really have anything else and we're going to be playing with him up front, he needs to be burying a few of these chances.
That was the one for me, lads, to be honest. That was sort of like he took that extra touch, and I'm thinking you need to just take that touch and hit it straight away, because you're not going to get that time. In the Championship, you'll probably get maybe one or two more touches and a chance. But yeah, I thought, again, I'm a big DCL fan, but he needs to be doing better. He needs to really be more clinical. Okay, Vicario, he had a few good saves yesterday, but
he was good yesterday.
He's very good, but again, it's all about little moments in games. If DCL scores that goal in the first half, and you're looking and thinking, right, we've really got him where we want him now. The fans are behind the team. It's just fine little margins, and yeah, 100%. He used to be getting better now each game moving forward. I think he come out and said after the game that a few of them should have taken their chances after him. I was sat here thinking, well, it was all on you, mate. Really, to be honest, you had the better chances for us, and he didn't put it away. But listen, again, it's one game, but if it's more, this is starting to show now in other games, then I'm a bit concerned, just because we need to be clinical in this league. We're not going to get as many chances.
Yeah, and look, I think Jam as well is that, like, Calvert-Lewin notoriously across his career so far at Everton, he's not the most clinical strikers, and I think we all knew that. Apart from the season under Ancelotti, where I think he got 22 goals, and that was very, very attacking football under Ancelotti. Other than that, I don't think he's hit 20. Other than that, I'm not too sure, but I don't think he has. So he hasn't been the most clinical striker. But again, when you look at across them two games against Bournemouth and again yesterday against Spurs, you'd probably say 5 really good chances, and he doesn't score them 5 games and only 1 goal so far. So it definitely, look, I'm not going to get on his back yet, but it does need to change. He needs to be, if he's getting 3 chances in a game, he really needs to be putting one on the way and not missing them. Dylan, what do you think?
It just needs to be more clinical. We can't keep using this thing. It was funny at the start, but he's another reason why I'm getting annoyed is we can't keep saying, oh yeah, he's getting in the right areas. Fair play to you. And like, anyone that knows football can get into the right areas, but you need to put the ball in the back of the net. And I thought about it in this certain way. Going back to Farke for a minute, I just genuinely thought he got a lot of things right, apart from the subs. The intensity was there. This is all the positive things I'm saying. The intensity was there. You could see before the subs, the lads gave absolutely everything. Just lacked that killer moment. A bit of composure, nothing in the box. And then why I get really annoyed is the Spurs weren't brilliant. They were simply just clinical. And that's just where it is. And that's what I'm saying, going back to DCL, is he's not clinical enough. But he's definitely the man to start. I'm not.
Yeah, that's his whole up play, Dylan, is absolutely fantastic. Like, it is. It's really, really good. I want him. I think I'm right now at this minute just going to put it down to match sharpness still, because obviously we know his injury record. He's been in and out and up and down, and he's still bedding into a new side now. His post-match yesterday on LUTV was fantastic with if anyone didn't see it, was Nigel Martin, Lucas Radeby and Emma Jones. And he said about coming to Leeds United, how he feels at home straight away, and he wasn't expecting to it, and being around the familiar Yorkshire accent and stuff like that. So he does look like he's enjoying his football, and fairness to him, but he just needs that side of the game to click a little bit more and hopefully start scoring a couple of goals. But again, like, lads, this kind of brings us back to the start of the show. What I said at Jam is that we can't continue this on, can we? That oh, we're unlucky. Like if it again happens against Burnley, where we can see the last minute equaliser and get out there with a draw, I don't want to be coming out there going, oh, we were unlucky today. We should have won it. West Ham, oh, we're unlucky. We should have got a point, or we would have won the game. Because there's been a couple of matches so far this season where you look back and you think, oh, we were unlucky today. Our luck has to turn at some stage, does it?
I think I think you're bang on there, because I think the context of it is you can look back on these last two games and it is Bournemouth and Tottenham, the two top sides in the league, but if I'll be honest, lads, if we lose it, we play Burnley and West Ham now, and I probably won't be accepting like, oh yeah, we played well though, and we didn't quite get the rub of the green, because these are the games now we need to be aiming for. Burnley are going to be looking at us. Yeah, Burnley are going to be looking for 3 points against us, and we need to be looking at our 3 points. And I'll be honest, I know they've got Nuno now, but West Ham, that's a huge game at home. That's a big game that we will be looking to get. So yeah, you can sort of sit here and not be too disappointed. Bournemouth and Spurs probably would have taken a point from both games, lads, if we're being honest, and not getting turned over in one of them.
Yep.
But we need to sort of, you're right, we need to really just knuckle down now and just sort of start turning our luck against.
Because we're gonna have to make up for that during the season, Jam, aren't we? Like this, not being lucky now. I want us to turn it on the head, especially around that Christmas period where we score a last minute equaliser. We get out of a game where we're bombarded, like the way Leeds bombarded Spurs yesterday, and come out with the win where we haven't played well. So we're going to have to flip some of these results on the head to work in our favour as the season goes on, if we are going to have a shot at surviving in this division. Because when you look at our next 4 games, and I'll give you then our next 5 after that, why I think the next 5 for Leeds United is massive, lads. After this international break, it's massive, I think, these 5 games. So we've obviously Burnley away from home, West Ham at home, Brighton away, which is going to be a very tough game. You've got Forest away, which I think we might be able to do Forest given what's going on there at the minute, but you don't know, new manager bounce. And then we've got Villa at home as well, who are obviously a little bit inconsistent, but still very good players. So them 5 games I think are massive. You can kind of get 7 to hopefully 9 points out of that. I think you're in a really good stead. The next 5 after that, lads, is Man City away, Chelsea at home, Liverpool at home, Brentford away in London, which we know Leeds down in London is not good, and then Crystal Palace at home. Like, they're 5 very tough games then coming after as well. So this is what I'm saying, Jam, is that like now I'm probably for the first time ever as a Leeds United fan, I'm probably happy the international break is coming, because I'm hoping they can look at Dan James isn't going to be back. We know that it's going to be the following international break, but I'm hoping we can get Willie Nanto back, and the players that are still here, the likes of DCL that aren't gone away in international, that we can work on his finishing, get them more embedded in the squad, and the players that aren't gone away, that we can work with them a little bit more. So it's used this 2 weeks to our advantage as much as we possibly can, I think.
Yeah, I think especially Willie Nanto, it'd be nice to get him back into training and get him firing again, because I think exactly like you said, Daz earlier, and Dill, like the bench was looking a bit bleak yesterday, but if you put a Nanto on there, suddenly it's looking like, right, we can turn to that bench and there's someone that we can bring on to maybe impact the game. But that fixture thing that you just mentioned there, Daz, that's a bit brutal after the next 5 games. I mean, you're looking at Palace, you're looking at Man City, you're looking at Liverpool. That's brutal. That's the Premier League for you. That's literally we need to be getting. I reckon we need to be getting 8 or 9 points now at these next 5 games. And again, I might be me being optimistic, but I think that's what we need to be getting to play in the league.
I agree. Bring back Willie Nanto. He needs to be on. He needs to be on.
Richard Hogan says West Ham will be difficult now. Nuno's in charge. Burnley is probably a must-win, and I probably agree with that as well. I would like to hope the next 2 that we could pick up 4 to 6 points. I think just to kind of banish that one. With this one here from Justin Wood says, lads, I think you're being harsh on yourselves. Taking points from Newcastle and Bournemouth is not easy. Yeah, I know. If you look at it before the game and them and where they are and the sides that they have and the managers that they have, it probably is a little harsh, but I'm kind of more so saying, Justin, is that the way that the games have gone, that Newcastle, I thought we were very good, and we're unlucky we didn't win the game, and then Bournemouth the last minute goal. So it's not against the lads, it's more so we have been unlucky in these games. So that's kind of where I'm coming from with that angle. But what did you make, lads? Because the last kind of topic before we wrap it up is obviously Farke's comments after the game, which I can understand that at the time that he's obviously trying to rev the lads up, saying we were unfortunate, we probably should have won the game. Like, I don't really agree with that, Jam. I don't think Leeds were probably worth the 3 points realistically, because how kind of poor our defending side of the game was. But I think a point would have been a fair result. Is that a little bit mad to say? Is that the Leeds hat on?
No, I think you're bang on. This is the thing sometimes with Farke. I think sometimes he says things in the media, and I don't think he means it the way that it lands. Sometimes I think it's just not sure he's lost in translation. Sometimes what he's trying to say, but I don't think
Maybe,
I don't think we deserve to win. If I'm being completely honest, I think we definitely deserved at least a point. Don't think we deserved it. I don't know how we lost the game. If I'm being completely honest, that's just my opinion. But yeah, I don't know where he's again. Sometimes he's a bit questionable of some of the things he's saying. Again, it's not me saying far correct. It's far from that, but sometimes it is a bit baffling. Some of the things that he comes out with, and I'm not afraid to say that on camera. But I don't know.
I think you're right, Jam. I think someone might be a little bit of a translation issue from him as well. I do probably agree with that. But I don't think we were worth the win yesterday. To be honest with you, maybe on another day if our chances go in, but I think the draw would have been the fair result. Dylan, you?
Yeah, I think we should have won the game. I'm serious. I'm absolutely serious. I feel like obviously, look, it's the clinical side of it. If Rodon said I had went in, it would have been a completely different game. It's simply just down to clinical finishing it, not being clinical enough, and it seems to be our story.
Calvert-Lewin as well. I suppose you look at Calvert-Lewin.
I'll ask you two questions. Can you actually honestly tell me the chances they had apart from the 2 goals they scored?
No, they've.
Well, then there you go. And think about the amount of our chances. It's simply
the one off the top of my head, I think they had a free kick from outside the box, and when Harrison was that draft excluder again, and you could see Ampadu manhandling Brendan Harrison because he was on the ground, he was well too far over from the wall, he wasn't directly underneath it, and he was facing the ball as well. So obviously you're meant to face with your back to the ball as well. So I don't think we've quite grasped the whole draft excluder thing yet. And then again, it gets through the wall and goes straight down the throat of Carl Darlow. But yeah, Dylan, I think you're right. I don't think I remember them creating too much. There was one in the first half where we were cut wide open down the left-hand side, and the ball was dropped back across. I think it was Kudos as well. We were free as a board, and he smashed it over the bar where he probably should have been on a little bit better, and it should have been 2-0 Spurs. But yeah, look, they had their chances, we had our chance, and ultimately, lads, it's the Premier League. We keep saying is that they have quality players. They have quality players.
I simply understand where you two boys are coming from. I really do, and I agree. Like I genuinely think if we had it, Eddie, don't start, don't rep me up, man. I think a draw would have been fair. We had got an equaliser,
Nah, you can't flip flop now. You said a win.
No, but look, I understand where you are coming from. Is what I'm trying to say. Like in a way that we were so used to of us not finishing and not grabbing it by the balls and just doing it. We seem to be doing it the hard way every time and not finishing and trailing a game. That's where I think we had to go to drop. But I mean, considering they didn't really offer anything apart from the 2 goals. I hope there's a Spurs fan in here because he's just shy. And then the chances that we had, just as I said, we're just not clinical enough. Defending, quality, midfield, quality. It's just that. It's the final bit. And look, let's be honest, lads. And I know DCL is a proven Premier League striker, but when you look at it this way, that's the difference between the Premier League and the Championship. It's not the football. The football is fine. It's simply the finishing.
What do you think of? Obviously, Leeds are getting the Leeds fan base are getting a little bit of shit online. Obviously, with a bottle thrown, Kudos obviously scores the goal and celebrates on the seat right in front of the South stand, which I think is a ridiculous thing to do in front of the away section. And a bottle misses his head by about that much. And there's a lot of people online saying, dirty Leeds and all that as well. But Jam, I think football's healing a little bit. We've the rest of the country starting to hate us again.
It's great.
That's it, exactly. You want to be hated, and just to touch on what. He's bringing it on himself, just sitting in front of the fans and get goading the fans. You're going to get at Leeds.
A Spurs fan telling me, Jam, sorry to cut across you, a Spurs fan telling me that that's a celebration. What you want him to do, not do a celebration. I'm like, no, I don't care what he does. I don't care what a celebration is. But if you're going to sit right in front the main section in Ellen Road, everyone knows what the South Stand is in Ellen Road, even opposition fans do. If you're going to sit there and taunt them like that, are you going to expect what are we going to stand there and clap you and go, fair play to you, great goal? Of course you're going to get someone in the crowd throwing something at you. Because I do believe he tried to sit up on the Horden and there was one of the security guards stopped him and then he took the ball boy up off the seat and then sat down as well. Like now, in fairness, if the bottle had hit him, like it would have done serious damage.
I would have done, yeah.
I'm not being bad. I would have turned around and said, yeah, your man shouldn't have thrown the bottle, but I'm like, bit of a stupid move to sit right in front of the home fans celebrating a goal. Like, what do you expect is going to happen when something does? Don't cry about it.
If I get into a cage with a lot of crocodiles, do you think they're all going to just stand there looking at me?
Probably
Same
will, but
thing,
how
like.
probably will, but how passive aggressive you've been the last few
Yeah, I
weeks.
know. I'd be like
Too
Happy
violent
Gilmore, you know.
yesterday. Match player ratings. I think they'd look at you and think, yeah, maybe not. Let's not test
There was
today.
another one as well. Someone threw a vape as well, wasn't there? Someone were taking the corner. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
Didn't
I
hit
just
the
don't
bar
get
enough,
it. The
if
thing
you
is, lads, if he as your celebration, as me, if I was playing, I'd be running in front of my fans. When we worry about the other fans, I'd be giving it a big one in front of my own fans and going to the away fans and then giving it,
I do. What was it? Who was it that came up actually the other day? It was Adebayor. Remember when he did it against Arsenal?
Yeah.
The whole full
Yeah.
length of the pitch.
What do you expect to happen? Like, if you're going to be a shit house like that, and you're saying that home fans can't, like, do you know what I mean? It doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. Look, I don't agree with the bottle being thrown, but don't
No,
expect
I don't agree with that.
don't expect
No.
nothing to happen. And then when something does, then cry over it. Then like your man was like to me as well, the sports fan. He wrote back to me saying, "What do you expect them to run over the far side of the pitch?" I'm like, "Yeah, where the sports fans are. Go do it with the sports fans. Do you know what I mean? If you want to do it, whatever, but don't do it in front of the home section. What do you expect to happen?" But
Okay,
Rusty Tin Can says, "If it had been Bruno, I would have thrown a brick."
Look, if flip it around. If it had been one of our players, right, and we were more or less running, and he was running to the away fans or we're home, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Then we're going to the opposition fans, and he was celebrating. Don't get me wrong, the three of us here and everyone in the chat will agree, we're absolutely loving it. Me personally, I'd you know,
But
just
that's
complete.
football,
Yeah,
Dylan.
you want that's
football.
exactly. You want to wind them up, but if someone started throwing stuff at me, I'd lose it. If I was a footballer myself, I would lose. I'd get in. I'd go after him. Look, let's be honest with you, boy. I mean,
At least
I don't
Porro,
agree
like
with it.
Porro was whinging about it in the corner. Obviously, yeah, look, if someone threw a vape at him, like, come on, lads, right, relax, right. But he obviously seen the funny side. He picks up the vape and pretends he's vaping and
Yeah,
all
exactly.
that.
He knew what it was all about.
This is football. Like, what did he expect to happen? Like, like in that time, when I understand, like, the emotions are high after scoring a goal, but like, to think what he done to sit right in front of the home fans was just thick, like, just stupid. Carry on, like. But then, yeah,
you don't want anyone to be hurt. You don't want anyone to be hurt, do you? But like, literally, that's what football's all about. You know, it's about that little bit of needle and a bit of, that's what gets me sort of passionate and going about it. Like, I don't want anyone hurt by a bottle or anything, but you know, I like all the banter between players and fans, and you know, because then when like for example, like Eddie said, then Bruno when he comes to town, can't wait for that. Do you know what I mean? Literally just to see him in front of the crowd. That's why I live for the moments, just for players like that. You know, so
yeah. I do say it's great to see Leeds being hated again, because it was there for a while. We were everyone's second team, and I'm like, nah, I'm not having that. Nah. So the world is healing and football is healing. It's back. Well, lads, look, I think we'll leave it there for talking points. Obviously, Leeds United we lose our unbeaten record at Ellen Road for over a year. International break now for 2 weeks, and then we're back to Turf Moor against Burnley, and we will be back then. So keep an eye out and cross to the channel. There's been loads of content put out over the last couple of days. Make sure you do go check that out as well, lads. We are on Spotify now as well. So if you do want to listen on the go, make sure you go across and follow us there on Spotify. But we leave it there, lads. So mind yourselves, mind each other. We'll catch you in the next one.